it comes. Ah.
We did it! I think this means we're obligated to work on our water system now.
I know, we've successfully created more work for ourselves. Look at us go.
For those of you that might be new to our channel, one of our big projects this fall was to complete our permanent off-grid water system. We have an entire playlist on the history of our water while living on our property, but in a quick nutshell, this system is going to be comprised of 2 cisterns at the top of our hill, and then we have a line running down the hill, so it's going to be a gravity system. We don't have a well yet, but there are plans to have one in the future. Long story short, days before we were finished with the system, old man winter came. What's hard to see in this video here is that our 3-foot trench actually caved in a good deal over winter. But basically, we gotta clean the trench up before we can even put the pipe in. Jesse's hard at work over here doing what he calls oxing. Man do work.
Man sweat, playing dirt.
What's funny is Jesse's house closed minutes ago, and he's like, yay. Might have to go out to drinks.
Yeah, we
celebrate
should
or something.
Somehow. Maybe we'll have a popsicle later or something.
We just want to show you what this cleaning up process looks like. I think a lot of people would look at us and say that we failed. And we don't really feel that way, but this is just part of the game. Some projects take longer than normal, and the only way to avoid failure is to not take action.
Right. I don't know if you mentioned this, but the only reason this is even an issue is because we had a winter
that was like way crazier than normal. It was a record-breaking winter.
Comparable to the most extreme winter in the last 20 years.
Yep.
And well, we just happened to roll the dice and had an open trench.
Yeah.
That wouldn't even have been an issue, but it rained on top of 4 feet of snow. So our normally pretty stable hillside, but we loosened all this rock and garbage and it found its way into the trench. But last year, this trench would have been dry. Fine, absolutely fine. So, luck of the draw.
It's all good. What is your role in this project so far?
Basically, we're just trying to clean up the trench so we can get our 3-foot depth back. And I actually wanted to say something. Because we have time, we were rushing when we were doing this before. We were moving, we were hauling. And we're like, good enough.
It's not like snow is in the forecast or anything.
No, we're like, good enough. Like, good enough. And here I am going back through here, and I'm using lots of 4-letter words.
Oh yeah.
But there are rocks that I'm pulling out of the bottom of this trench that we didn't get last time. And I guess I'm glad, like many things, that we get delayed and we take our time and do the job right. So my job is to get all this dirt out and pave the way for you.
Our original plan was to lay all of this encasement at one time before doing any sort of burying whatsoever, but because the trench is still a little wet and we still have a lot of falling in and we really don't want to do this work 3 times, we decided that we're going to go ahead and dig and place our 4-inch pipe section by section. Because our soil is pretty rocky and we do care about all this stuff, we decided to have a load of sand brought in. And what we've been doing is we've been laying down about 1 inch or 2 inches of sand to bed the pipe, and then we're adding more sand on top. This is not our water pipe, this is just the encasement. So that if anything happens, we can easily pull it out because we ain't digging this trench again. We really didn't want to carry this sand in buckets up the hill, down the hill, up the hill, down the hill. That's what I'm doing today, and it's very exhausting. So Jesse had another grand idea that we're gonna build some sort of sand luge. It's a luge, right? Oh crap, our water's leaking. Uh-oh, busted our water system. Ah, mayday, mayday. Ah, Alyssa's down. Mayday, should I shut the water off?
Yeah.
Crap. It looks like that just pulled out of there. You didn't even break it, so I'm gonna blame myself for a bad priming job.
I'm gonna guess.
What do you think?
The glue probably wasn't even really holding anything.
Really?
I think you didn't know that you're supposed to hold the connectors together while the glue sets.
We will rebuild.
We will rebuild.
Okay, time to get some work done.
Oh God, what are you smiling at?
So goofy looking.
Some redneck engineering for you right there. I say let's test all that. That's a lot higher than I thought it would be.
That's pretty funny.
And then you gotta blow. Careful on that one. Alyssa's at the top, putting sand in the bucket, and then giving it a wiggle wiggle, and this happens. Our strategy with this, since we already have the pipe, so we don't have to buy anything, and then as we move up the hill, we'll simply be removing sections of pipe, and of course the pipe will get shorter and shorter, so hopefully it'll get easier and easier as we get closer to the top. We really don't need to be bedding this pipe in sand anyway, because it's double encasing, but my thinking was two things. One, sand is easier to move, I think. The fill that we created with our grizzly, my fear would be that we would end up with rocks stuck in the pipe trying to move the sand down here to bed these pipes. And then ultimately I'd really like to have a nice even bed of pressure on this encasing, because if it did break, well, if we ever had to thread new pipe through, it would really suck because we wouldn't be able to. So I guess the sand here, while maybe not particularly necessary, is just some insurance to hopefully keep that pipe intact. God forbid the day ever come where we have to do anything with it. All right, got those new pieces of pipe added, so we'll probably add maybe about a bucket of sand to the top of this.
Up the hill,
As insurance, Alyssa has taken it upon herself to start the hot tub.
Yes, I have. I've been wanting to do this for 3 days.
Which I approve.
And gosh dang it, it's 1 p.m. I'm starting her now. Oh, she's lit all right. She's lit. We have probably, what, maybe 60 more feet to go?
Something like that.
But we have one more trench clean out up here where this caved in. It's smaller though.
Oh, my morale just went down.
Oh yeah, definitely tired today. We're nearing the top of the hill now, and it's getting a little more challenging because it's pretty crumbly up here, so our trench is wanting to cave in on us. It's getting late, we're hungry, but we're gonna try to get to the top of the hill. Maybe 20 more feet, 20, almost 20 feet.
20, hopefully
20 won't do it.
Hopefully it's 20, maybe we should measure. Let's measure so we're not questioning ourselves.
What does it mean if it's not 20 to the top?
Then stop.
Okay. So, and then we also want to get it backfilled a little bit because it's so unstable. We really don't want any rocks crushing our encasement. That's a fine looking trench.
Yeah.
There you have it. Our pipe is laid.
We survived.
So for the end, we ended up using the wheelbarrow to dump the sand directly because it was less effort. But I think the sand luge was nice for kind of things that were in between the bottom of the hill and the top.
Well, you get past about here, and if you lose control, bye Alyssa,
yeah.
Bye. See you at the bottom.
Yeah.
Or more like see the wheelbarrow at the bottom.
We're not sure what we're gonna do for the backfill. We're still working that out. It might be sand luge on steroids.
Yes,
including
sand luge 2.0.
Or I don't even know. My brain's not working.
Culvert. Encasing's done, which is the important part because then we're at no rush to get everything else laid. So, good job. What's that? 150 feet of encasing
in 3 days.
Times 2. We laid 2, mind you, not 1.
300 feet in 3 days. That's not bad.
I always wonder, long term, whether this decision to do double encasing will have been worth all the time and effort and money, because the poly that we're using, from what I understand, it can be direct buried. But that day ever comes and you have a problem. This will be too soon for about 30 years.
Yeah. What's next, you may ask? Watch us get attacked by mosquitoes, apparently. So we have to finish the encasing all the way to the bottom of the hill, which I think we decided we're gonna do with the excavator. And then we need to get the encasing to the cistern, and that's a project. That trench is no joke. The boulders are this big, and there's nowhere to put anything that we dig out because it all falls back in.
They're Alyssa-sized boulders, by the way.
We have a little bit we could celebrate, but we still have a lot of work ahead of us, but it feels nice checking it off the list, so stay tuned.
This was a big part of it. Good job.
Yeah.
Boom.
And on that note, I think it's time to attempt to clean up and attempt to eat.
Clean up, food, and here's hoping hot tub. Hot tub. Hot tub. Hot tub.